Hi guys, Kayong here. Welcome to another daily market watch list. Alright, so before we go into the daily events and activity that and potential setups that we have for today, whenever we have a potential trade review that we can talk about, whether is it a profitable one or is it one of those trades that we get stop up, I'll use those opportunity to share with you the review of the trade, why we take the trade, the outcome of the trade, and is if behind those trades is there any lesson that we can learn. Alright, so along the way, you don't only get trade ideas out of this daily videos, alright, but you also get some educational material as to understanding the thought process that we put into taking this trade itself. Right, so this is a dollar yen trade that we took, all right, a buy trade at 103.65 area. All right, so this trade, the initial idea why it was initially why we wanted to take that trade is because of this, right? Price, we saw a recent move, all right, this upswing over here, which broke the previous minor downtrend, right? So what we do is we just wait for a 61.8 retracement over here, all right? On a H1 time frame, you can see this rejection was pretty nice. We got it slightly later, right? Because that time I wasn't in front of my com to monitor the market, but what I saw is at the time during the H1 close, right, I did see a very nice rejection. Right, and coupling with the overall fundamental and sentiment for the dollar, we are bullish on dollar itself. All right, that's why I just pulled the trigger on the H1 pin rejection close on this particular trade. All right, so after that, my initial target, right, if you followed on TradingView, was actually targeting over here. It's just about 50 pips or maybe 45. All right, somewhere around this high. But yesterday we saw that dollar continued to ride on the sentiment and the fundamental. Nothing much has changed on the dollar. Right, so what I did was I just pushed my target slightly higher, right, aiming for the target on 127 extension. Right, so with an initial of about 40 pips to 45 pips profit, actually push it up slightly higher. You can see that this trade totals about 70 pips in profit. Right, so that's how you can do some form of management in your trade when everything is aligned. You can actually gun for a higher take profit. Okay, so that's about it. We only have this trade so far for this particular week. So hope that by sharing with you some of this trade review, you'll be able to learn something out of it as well. Okay, so let's go over to today's calendar to look out for what are some of the potential things that we can look out in the market. Right, it's an overall pretty quiet week, alright, relatively as compared to last week. So today itself, the focus will be slightly on Euro. Later during the London session, we have the German IFO business climate. I don't expect this to be gonna be a huge volatility news that's going to impact the market, but just take a look at it. All right. For later part in the US session, we do have some news coming in. Consumer confidence from the US, as well as BOE and ECB speeches. Right, not that's gonna be a super important one, but just take a note because it might potentially move the market, right? Just like the BOC speech earlier today in the morning. Okay, so let's take a look at the Asia wrap. All right, the focus is definitely on BOC. Okay, so if you follow into Canadian, you can see that Canadian actually strengthened a little bit before it pushes back up, meaning dollar CAD I'm referring to. Okay, so meaning Canadian actually strengthened a little bit, and then after that it weakens, and this is because of a slight tone from BOC, and then the market actually reacted to it on the immediate sentiment. And so what's happened was that Paulos actually said this, alright. One of his statement in the speech was that our best plan right now we think is to wait for the next 18 months, alright. So what market did was they interpreted it as Paulos is referring to some form of monetary policy statement, and because of that, when he said something of waiting for the next 18 months, that's a pretty long period, right? The market interpreted that Paulos might not, or the BOC might not act on any monetary policy statement. So what it means is that Bank of Canadian might not change its interest rate, might not cut its interest rate in the near term, right? And that's where the market sees strength in the Canadian dollar. But after that, when Paulos actually clarified and said that my statement concerning the need to wait for 18 months was in reference to the time frame over which the output gap is expected to close, and there's nothing in reference to the bank's monetary policy statement. We did see the Canadian weaken after that, alright? So this was a 5-minute chart that Forex Live actually included in it. Okay, so what I want to share with you over here is that market sometimes move based on this kind of immediate shift in the sentiment as well. Alright, so if you're trading the currency market, you definitely need to understand the sentiment and what is going to move the market during that period of time. Right, so other than that, today nothing much in the market. So what we do is we look over to the technical side. Euro dollar, right, still the same level that we analyzed last session yesterday. The key level that we are still looking out for is at 109.70, looking for a short opportunity. Right, so if price retrace higher up to this level, we'll be looking for an opportunity to short. Right, let's look at pound dollar. A quick one to check. Right, pound dollar, we do have a potential one that's forming today. Completion at the 88.6. All right, that's a potential sell area, right, at 1.2315. Shows should price rally higher towards that. That's about 85 pips to 90 pips. We might look for opportunity to short the market. Dollar yen, we do have one that we identified yesterday, alright, but during the live webinar I shared with everyone not to take a short trade over here simply because of the current sentiment of dollar is strong, right? So if I just reassess the levels for today, this is what's gonna happen. Right? We do have some new levels coming in. Right, over here we do have a potential buy setup. All right, right at the 786 level, 103.45. All right, so it's a huge drop. That's about 90 pips. I mean, I'm not sure if today we're gonna see that. All right, but I'll keep this level over here to keep an eye on it. Okay, for those who are more aggressive, you can even potentially aim for this level. Retracement of 50%. You can see some minor structure over here as well, right? So I'm just going to drop this key level in as well to keep an eye on it, right? So that's at 104 psychological number, right? So two levels to look out for dollar yen. Aussie dollar, still the same thing that we are looking out for as analyzed yesterday, right? It's at 7675. Look for a short opportunity in Aussie. Kiwi, we do have a break towards the low. Right, so I'll just reassess the situation right now for you. We do have a change in level right now. The 61.8 Fibonacci changes to 7205. All right, very close to the psychological number of 0.72. Look for an opportunity to short this. All right. Kiwi is the next central bank that is closest to a potential rate cut. So our immediate or near-term buyers on Kiwi is actually looking for opportunities to sell it. Right, dollar Canadian, after that news that happened this morning, nothing much. Right, so I will just leave the dollar Canadian as of now. Euro pound, nothing as well. Euro yen, no clear setup. Right, same for pound yen, nothing much on the table. For Aussie Canadian, nothing as well that I'm spotting on. Okay, Aussie Kiwi. Okay, it came very close to the level they were looking for short, right? But we don't trade during the Asian session, right? So again, this trade, based on our rule, we won't be taking it. Let me just do a quick revision of our trade ideas. Right, there was a fib. Let me just pull the extension to check the criterias. All right, we do have one level pretty high up for sell. Right at the 88.6 over here. Right, so if price rally higher, we do have a potential level to look for a sell trade. It's at 1.0745. That's about 75 pips to 80 pips. Highly unlikely that's going to happen in today because Aussie Kiwi is not a very volatile pair to trade. Okay, but it's still a valid level to look out for. Right, other than that, let me just check some key levels that we do have. Not exactly, alright. So that's the only level that we have in terms of technical analysis valid for us to take an opportunity to short the Aussie Kiwi. Other than that, nothing much on this pair. Euro Aud basically is still in the consolidation, nothing to trade for today. Euro Canadian, nothing as well. Kiwi CAD, nothing as well. Most of the Canadian is because of those. You can see this huge candle moving, right? Over here, over here. These are all based on changes in the sentiment and it's a pretty strong move, it's normally going to disrupt your technical analysis part, right? So usually when this happens, we let the market give it some time for it to settle down before we decide to take any trade. Okay, so this is the goal, which I shared also yesterday during a live webinar. The difference between putting a pending stop and pending order, and the difference between waiting for more confirmation. Right, these each of these will have their own advantage and disadvantages. So for those who actually put a pending stop based on this divergence trade, you have taken profit. Right, it's a huge 80 pips, 80 points profit for you guys. All right, so I personally, because I don't put a pending order, I wouldn't have taken this trade. Okay, so right now to reassess the situation, nothing much on gold as well. All right, oil. Let me just clear the chart. Do a quick check. I think we do have a potential one. Yep. All right. So for oil, we do have a potential opportunity to sell up at the 786. All right. So if price comes up, that's about 110 points at 51.62. We'll be looking for an opportunity to short the oil market right up there. All right, let's look at the last two index, German DAX as well as S&P. All right, German DAX is currently in the zone that we are interested of. But again, this is during the Asian session. Usually I don't trade. Let's take a look at, during the European session open, how market will actually react to that level. S&P similar is inching higher. All right, so we might see some potential reaction of this level for today. But of course, S&P, I only trade it during the US session. Right, so that's it for today. Hopefully, it's more educational for this video, sharing with you more of our review, as well as some of the potential ideas that we have for today. All right, so again, every day I'm going to remind you, follow your trade plan, manage your risks, and I'll talk to you tomorrow again.